could sit here and do what we kind of did maybe too much of last week, but still relevant, which was to go over the reaction to the election. But I'm not going to put you through that tonight. Relax. Even though I could show you all of the details from all of the entrails, including the ABC, who went and found people who said the reason they didn't vote for the Liberal Party was because the slogan, "Get Australia Back on Track," was too close to make America great again. What? No, back on track was a reference to the fact that more than 50% of the country thinks the country's in the wrong direction, the wrong track. But anyway, and then there were the people who said that it's all the work from home stuff and that's the reason why they decided to vote. Whatever, you've heard it all before. You've also heard almost any and every person with any tangential or serious connection to the Liberal Party saying what their plan is for the next 3 years.
Any and all the policies we took to the election, we will need to review and revisit. Doesn't mean we're going to dump them all, but it also doesn't mean we automatically keep them.
There is nothing wrong with the Liberal Party's values, but its capacity to project those values through policy, through leadership, through its language, through its offering to the public is, I think, where we let ourselves down.
George?
Now, valuable conversation and one that we have to have in dribs and drabs over the next 3 years. But I probably rule a line under, okay, that's too much. When this person turns up on the ABC and basically, look, I'm going to take a bet, hasn't voted Liberal a few elections in her life, but we'll see. And her suggestion for how the Liberal Party can turn itself into anything but the Liberal Party to save itself from anything but the Liberal Party.
I wish that someone from the Liberal Party would bring me in for a day and I'd give them a course on something. It'd be very helpful.
What would you say to them?
I would say, wake up tomorrow and decide you're the Teals. Wake up tomorrow and don't just emulate the kind of candidates you pick, but the kind of policies that they agree on collectively. You need to be socially progressive. You are living 100 years ago and you are dreaming of this old Australia that no one in this country wants or foresees as the future.
Look, I get it. Bad loss, 2 on the trot. They did win an election, what, in 2019? You're living 100, all this stuff. This is a bit like, remember in the 90s when all the Howard haters used to talk about the 1950s, the 1950s? So, OK, let me say this about the plan for this show going forward. Now, you know, I like data. When there's data, I'm going to talk about data. I'm not going to hide the reality of things, but I'm also not going to wallow in things. I get it. I got a few complaint emails last week, and I always want to be the show that's confident and forward-facing and fight. But we couldn't have spent last week pretending that the result wasn't what it was, and I'm not going to ignore it for the next 3 years. But let's turn to some positives. And regardless of who ends up being the leader, isn't it going to be fantastic that Jacinta Nampijinpa Price will end up as the deputy leader of the Liberal Party? Now, this is a fascinating move. Now, we know that there is a lot of trouble with the National Party blowing up, that she's left a version of the National Party to join the Liberal Party. And that will mean that presumably she's not going to be running for the Senate again in 2 years' time. She made some references to a coastal community, I think in New South Wales. I'll double check. So maybe she might be coming to the lower house from something like that in 3 years' time. But regardless of who the leader is, Jacinta Nampijinpa Price looks like she will be the deputy leader. She'll be steeling their spine and she'll be able to argue with anyone, anywhere, what she believes in. Whether this turns an election or not, we'll all find out. But if nothing else, that's what you want in your political leader, right? You want that if you're somebody who's a hardcore Green, Labor, Liberal or whatever. That you want somebody in the leadership structure not to say the things that, oh, on double check, is this going to work, not going to work. Somebody who's going to shoot straight. 3 examples of her shooting straight today. Number 1.
I have made the decision and the decision wasn't taken lightly. You know, I'm very passionate about our country and the direction in which it is going, because I've seen how socialism has destroyed the lives of those that I love in remote communities. And with the Labor government now in power for 3 more years, it is the most marginalised who miss out the most, you know, let alone everyday Australians in all of this. And so I guess the fighter in me feels, you know, I'm obliged to step up.
Good on her.